When we first started and got just a little bit of money,
Yeah.
we know how £100 can make me £1,000.
Yeah, I spoke about my investment philosophy. What makes money? Which in some cases, I understand why they don't, and I also understand why they should.
There is something that's called investment, right? So when we first started and got just a little bit of money,
Yeah.
we know how £100 can make me £1,000.
Yeah.
And then when I make £1,000, I want that £1,000 to make me
More.
10,000
Yeah.
and vice versa. I've been listening to this podcast, and then I've heard something very, very important that says some people do like to keep money on the table and like to save it.
Yeah.
This is what middle class is doing, and this is why middle class stays as middle class.
Yeah.
It's because they know they don't want to run out of money, so they're saving it and they're keeping it just in case something happens one day.
Yeah.
Whereas a rich man, or a wealthy man, I would like to say, is someone who takes whatever he has, at least 20% of
Yeah.
the whole capital, and put it into investment that will generate him in the future.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about having 100,000 or 200,000 or six figure in general in investment, I know that's going to bring me a seven figures in the long run.
So it's interesting because I think on a different podcast, I spoke about my investment philosophy. What makes money? So I mentioned something which I think would be interesting for your listeners. The hardest thing in this earth is not to take someone and fly them into space. The hardest thing is to turn money into more money. It's evidence, it's factual, because we see that 99% of the population live below some sort of average means. We've got a 1% of people who are rich, and we've got the 99% who work for that group of people. The most difficult thing is to take money, take a pound and turn that pound into £10. It's hard because guess what? There's risk associated.
Yeah.
As you just mentioned, there are people that you have some money, you want to put it aside because you don't want to risk losing that money. But smarter people, investors, we play a totally different game. We understand risk reward. And our brains work in a certain way that, oh my God, if I take a risk, it might just pay off. There's also a chance that it might not pay off. But in our mind, we would rather take that risk to see what happens.
Yeah.
So talking about my investment,
With the right mentorship.
you need the right. So let's jump into mentorship actually,
Yeah.
because it's one of my favorite topics in the world. I look at mentorship like this. You're walking down a dark alley, and as you take a right turn on that dark alley, there's someone round the corner ready to rob you, steal your phone, steal your bag. But if you had a mentor, the mentor, this is their job. A good mentor has been down that alley, taken a right turn, seen that there's a armed robber or someone ready to rob you, and then they tell you, don't go down that corner. That is the power of mentorship. So let me talk to you about how I discovered mentoring and then why I eventually became a mentor.
Yeah.
I came across these three brothers. They're called the Samoa brothers, German guys. Their business model is how any of my businesses operate. I'm not interested. I'm not the most creative person. I'm not the most sharpest person. So I learned something called emulation. Emulation simply means copy. I'm the biggest copycat in the world. I see someone doing it. We mentioned a couple of people earlier on that people that I've seen that are doing something.
Yeah.
My mum would say all the time, if he can do it or she can do it, why can't you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't wreinvent the wheel.
Why are you
Just
reinventing the wheel? And that's what most people, hey, teacher, I'm going to start a business where I'm selling T-shirts, but inside the T-shirts, it's got cups of coffee and you can sip the coffee. And like, bro, just look at what's going on in the market and emulate it. Now, if we talk about the Samoa brothers, they are worth about 6 billion euros. But guess what they've done? They've copied successful businesses. So they've got their own version of Amazon. They've got their own version of Just Eat. They've got their own version of Uber.
Wow.
Because guess what you've done? You've emulated, but you're playing second place. You've allowed Uber to make all the mistakes. You've allowed Just Eat to make all the mistakes. You've allowed Amazon to invest and to test the market. And all you do is come in and you learn. That's what mentorship is.
Well, look at social media, for instance. What are they doing across all the platforms? They look at who introduced stories the first. Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
The 60-second thing across 24 hours, and then it's lost.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, every single platform has it. And then why? Because it's actually a model that works.
Yes.
And no one is going to sue this because they just copied that. No, it just happens.
This is why people don't get to where they want to get to. You have £10,000 in your bank, and you think keeping that £10,000 in your bank means you're doing okay. But again, that £10,000 becomes £9,000 the next year. That £9,000 becomes 8,600 the next year.
Yeah.
So just the idea of having money means you're losing money. So how do you grow your money? How do you create wealth? You can't. And that's because you haven't learned how to make money.
Right.
The truth is this. The average person is not taught. Again, that's another discussion we can have. They don't teach financial education in school, which in some cases, I understand why they don't. And I also understand why they should.
Do you think they don't want people to be, everyone to be like financially free?
It's not that I don't think. I am 100% certain. And someone's going to say, how can you be 100% certain? I'll give you evidence why I believe that. So again, number one, the person that's going to teach you the financial education, your teacher, are they in a financial position?
No.
Cool. I'm happy you answer it. I'm going to ask you a few questions then. Is the average teacher in the financial position to teach a child about finance?
Absolutely not.
Is the average teacher getting an average salary? Have they been able to buy multiple properties?
No, absolutely not.
Cool.
It's what happens in universities, like business, people teaching business classes and...
I went to uni and after year 2, I said, you know what? This is long. I went to uni to study business studies.
Right.
My teacher was a terrible teacher, number one, or my lecturer, terrible lecturer, and had never run a business before in their lives. But you're teaching me how to read a book. I could have stayed at home, saved all that money, and read the same book myself.
Yeah.
I had to figure it all out when I left university with all that debt and figure out what business is. Even what they teach you in business books, I'm sorry, it actually does nothing. It does nothing. Business is literally getting on your hands and knees, putting in the work, doing the graft, and learning and then changing what doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's iteration, practice, 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 try again, practice, practice, practice. But most people don't even have the time to do so. Most people have this illusion that if I start a business today, oh my God, I'm going to be rich tomorrow. The truth is, look at the average business.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. This is the problem with social media. Social media, great tool. You and I generate lots of money just by social media. So it's got its positives, but it's had a significant detriment on this new school kids.
Right.
Everything has to be done today. Whereas any credible business person knows that the longer you stay in one game, one business, one game, you put your head down 3 to 5 years, there's a guarantee that you will be successful. Uber, Facebook, Tesla.
Deliveroo, yeah, everyone.
All these businesses are not even in profit yet. Only a handful of them have just got into profit, but they've been around for 10 plus years. They're playing the long game. So you find a business that you want to do. You make sure that there's room in that industry for you.
Yep.
You double down. You make all your mistakes. You learn the lessons. You find somebody who's doing well in that industry. You ask them the right questions. You shadow them. You ask them to mentor you. You provide some sort of value for them to spend time with you, and you copy them. There is no business that anyone's going to start today that isn't copyable. Whatever it is that you think you're going to do, someone's doing a version of it. Go and find that person. Your success is actually already buried inside somebody else. All you need to do is get access to them, unlock the key, and you've cut your journey by half. I say in order to be successful, you need to do one thing successfully. Obviously, still fail, still make mistakes, but consistently over a 3 to 5 year period. You get one mentor. That 3 to 5 year period could be cut down to 18 months. So for the people that want to go quick, which I don't agree with, find someone that's been there, done it, and is doing it. They're going to stop you from being robbed around the corner.
Yeah. So it's like baking a cake, right? I mean, sometimes you have...
I can't cook.
I love to cook.
I was about to say, that analogy, bro. KFC.
Listen, let's say I love to cook, which is the truth. And you, TJ, asked me for a recipe of a chocolate cake.
Yeah.
I give you the ingredients, the amount of how much flour you need to put, what chocolate you need to use, and I give you all the steps, step by step, how you actually should do it. And then what you decide to do, you know what, actually, Hadja, I like a bit of vanilla, so I'm just going to add the vanilla. But instead of putting 500 grams, I'm just going to try and cut that flour to 400 grams. And then you blame me why the recipe didn't work and why that actually cake didn't turn out the same.
Do you know what's interesting?
As mine.
They wouldn't blame you. They'll blame the government. Every single person wants to feel vilified. You want to feel as if somebody owed you something and they didn't fulfill their side of the bargain. Let's be frank, the government is not on your side. The governments are not going to do anything to appease or to help every single person. You're in this game by yourself.
Absolutely.
Everything that you want to achieve, you've got to find a way to do it yourself. But people want people are always looking for a crutch. They're always looking for someone to give them a handout, someone to help them out. But the reality is, no one's ever going to help you unless you help yourself. Show me that you've attempted to help yourself, and then I can step in and show you how it's done also.
Beautiful. Well, I'm loving this.
Okay.
I'm loving this. Okay. It's just, we're going, and I like your analogy, and I'm sure we agree on a lot of points, which is amazing.
I'm sure we probably don't agree on a number of things as
probably,
well.
Yeah, probably, which is fine.
Which is what life is about. Yeah. New school people, everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to, everyone wants to have an opinion, and everyone doesn't want to hear other people's opinion. The truth is this: you can hear what I'm saying today, and you can say, do you know what? It's not for me. Tune off. But for the people that listen, this effectively is their form of mentorship. Podcast, new education, new pathways being created in your brain changes your behavior. Everything. I say this with all confidence. Everything comes down to what you believe about yourself. I speak about this with such confidence.
Yeah.
What you think about yourself will determine the outcome. If you don't believe that you deserve to make money, you'll never make money. If you come from somewhere where money has never been spoken about positively, you'll never make money. This
Wow.
is the difference between poor people and rich people. Rich people, as I mentioned earlier on, teach their children very early on about what money is, how money works, how to make money. The most important thing that I know every rich person teaches their kids, it's not even how to make money. It's how to not think money is this big evil thing. Coming from a Christian background, people misquote the Bible. Money is the root of all evil. Does that make sense? And if you go to church every single Sunday and the pastor is saying money is the root of all evil, what does that mean to you? It says, maybe I don't need to focus on money. Maybe I don't need to have a lot of money. But let's talk about impact. You need money to have mass impact. You need money to change people's lives. You need money to change your life. You need money to put your children in a good position. You need money to go on nice holidays. But you can't tell me you don't care about money. Anyone that says to me they don't care about money, it's a lie. I'm saying it confidently. If you've ever sat there and you said, money is not important to me, it's because you don't have it.
Yeah,
and you don't have a clear pathway on how you can attain it. Therefore, guess what it does? It becomes your belief. Now you believe it, then you speak it and you become it.
It's like people who say beauty is not that important. Oh, the beauty is beauty what's on the inside.
Let's be frank. Let's be frank.
Be
Beauty is very, very important. Because again, as much as society is shallow.
Exactly.
The point
it matters,
is,
right? It matters.
Put it in this perspective. Society is shallow. There's nothing you or I are going to do that's going to change how people behave in society. That's how it is.
Yeah.
So put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Put your best foot forward. Do your best. And I talk about this all the time. There's something called prettyism. There's certain benefits that some people get just because they are pretty. Yeah. So put your best foot forward.
Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, being a beautiful person from the inside is also very important because, of course, you can't be horrible. But yeah, just looking at the industry right now, the beauty industry is probably the most.
You know, it's like saying being a rich person on the inside. Listen, there's no such thing. I can't identify as rich. Yeah, it's either you are rich,
or
and if
probably you can now with 2023.
Yeah, with 2023, I identify as a billionaire. Yeah, but let me go to the bank and try and buy a spaceship. They're going to send me back home. In fact, they'll deport me back to Nigeria. Yeah, the point is this. I think you mentioned something that I wanted to touch on. It was so important about goals. People talk about, I want to become a billionaire overnight. I'm the biggest advocate for small goals. I don't want people to delude themselves by having big goals. I know we speak about this all the time. Dream bigger.
Yeah.
The whole idea of a dream is big. It's good to dream big, but you've got to chunk it down to small goals because people need to start studying and understand how the brain works. The way we are designed, our brain is designed to protect us. This is why it's in this hard case, in this shell. Your brain's job fundamentally is to protect this entire perfect looking TJ specimen 10 out of 10 man. That's what my brain is designed for. That was supposed to be a joke, by the way, in case anyone doesn't get it. But the reason you didn't react, you're like, yeah, he's probably talking about himself again. Yeah.
Listen, I know we've been friends for some time, and I know you're right.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm a handsome man. Yeah, so and so. But the point I'm making is, let me actually give some content here. Your brain is designed to protect you. Yeah?
Yeah.
So when it encounters anything that remotely feels like stress or hard
Yeah.
work, automatically we start to feel our palms sweating, our pupils dilate, we get nervous. That's your brain sending signals to say, hey, TJ, don't take action. Calm yourself down.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Most people don't know how to trick your brain to enable you to get to the next level.
I want to thank you for tuning in and liking and being so engaging. I'm loving the love and the support you're showing me every single episode. If you have any questions, make sure you follow us on all our social media and leave all your comments and your burning questions in the comment section down below. If you're listening to us through the audio platforms, Spotify, iTunes, or if you're watching us on YouTube, do not forget to give us a subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to the Diaries of Success. I was your host, Hajar Beyaz. Until the next episode, do not forget to live your best life.